Jack Soul. Thanks so much for stopping by this YouTube channel. And today's video is all about the Strymon Iridium. If you want to jump ahead to some sound demos of how the Strymon Iridium sounds like through my pedal board and the sounds that I go for, feel free to jump ahead to that. All the timestamps are in the description. So in the meantime, I'm going to tell you why I think the Strymon Iridium is one of the best options, if not the best option, for your amp and cab solution. Now, on this channel, I've been going through a bit of a journey to even choose what amp and cab sim solution fits my workflow the best, and essentially my workflow referring to YouTube videos. So, and I'll talk about this a little bit more, but whenever I go out of the house to play guitar, I always bring my amp. So my ideal amp and cab sim solution is kind of more for a studio setting. So you can keep that in mind as we talk about the pedal more in this video. But there are awesome ways to use amp and cab sims out of the house as well, but that just isn't part of my workflow at the moment. So this journey has kind of taken me from on the YouTube, I started using my amp full-time every video, and that was great, but it came with its challenges. Then I went to the UAFX Ruby, and then as of late, I've been using two Joyo American Sounds so that I could still continue to go stereo. And then I picked up a Strymon Iridium. Now, I've already owned this pedal and sold it. Obviously, that I'm making this video, I did regret selling it. It is a great sounding amp and cab sim solution, and basically, here's why. First of all, you have lots of cab variations to choose from that come stock, and I think it's really cool that you can shut the amp side off and just use the cab, and that was really a big selling point to me this time around, because I want to be able to use my Joyo American Sounds through the cabs on the Iridium, and that's not something that you can do with the UA amp and cab sims. Now, I know why, and it's because they sell that essentially in the aux stomp, and I think that's a sweet pedal. But to me, the price just doesn't justify having that one side when I can use that with my Iridium. And moving on, that I have three amp voices in this box as well. And again, I think UAFX is doing a phenomenal job with all their amp and cab sims. They have so many different ones. They have huge line of these type of pedals. But in order to get all three voices that are in the Iridium, I would have to spend, probably close to $900 even used. So I think that that's really cool that they are all represented in the Iridium. And there's a few other amp and cab sim solution that offer lots of different ones within the same box, and I'm just comparing it to UA because that's the other pedal amp and cab sim that I have experience with. But Boss, I've seen lots of demos. I've never played one. Theirs sounds awesome, and the Walrus ACS1 sounds awesome. But again, for the Iridium, I think that's really cool that that's offered. And in my other videos on talking about amp and cab sim solutions, I talked about how this type of pedal is not fun for me to buy. I don't really enjoy it. The biggest reason because it's more of a tool, like a very utility style piece of equipment for me, rather than, a fun modulation pedal, or, something else pedal wise that you enjoy buying. And the reason why I say that is because in the studio, so at home, I really enjoy using amp and cab sim solutions because you can record silently through headphones and have a huge amp sound. And not only that, but it's a digital pedal, and although things can go wrong with digital pedals, it's far more likely to go wrong with my tube amp, whether it's just wearing out, natural wear and tear, or other things, just using it for hours and hours, because some YouTube videos can take a long time to kind of from start to finish using your amp. So I really like the idea of just using something digital that won't hopefully wear out as fast as my tubes will on my amp. And not only that, but I think the Iridium is really cool because it has a headphone out. And this is, again, just one more thing that gravitated me back towards the Strymon Iridium. Not to mention that it's stereo in, stereo out, which is super important because I'm coming out of my stereo pedal board and I'm recording stereo. So some amp and cab sim solutions are mono in, stereo out, or some are just mono in, mono out, and that wouldn't work for me. So a lot of reasons, and then coming down to the most important, that this is a utility pedal, and I feel like the sound is, really close, unrecognizable to differentiate it from my tube amp when I'm miking it up. Now, I have decent mics, I have a great amp, but I think the biggest thing about having an amp and cab sim pedal is that you can max out some of the things like volume, or get the edge of breakup tone without having your amp sound just like exploding into your house. So because this is a tool, it's almost like, instead of buying another mic to go on my amp, which would be cool too, but instead of doing that, I buy this pedal, which is not only an amp, it's a mic simulation as well. And I think thinking about it like that can really help with mindset of what you're trying to achieve with this very utility tool. And lastly, because I know I'm kind of going on here, but I think this is a really compelling argument for not only amp and cab sim solutions, but for the Iridium, is that they're so consistent. So if I'm working on a project, and it's important that I can get the same amp level and sound and everything, but I have to go out of the house in between. When I was using my amp, it was kind of a little bit up in the air. I would take down the settings that I was using at home, take it out, obviously readjust everything, but when I got home, I would have to kind of tweak it back to where it was. Where else with the Iridium, if I'm working on an important project that I need to get back to at the exact same level, feel, you can just save it in the favorite switch and readjust stuff live. And then whenever you're ready, you just go back to the favorite switch. And I think that's just a huge, huge tool for recording because, especially here when I do YouTube videos, I just want it to sound the same and be at the same level every time I shoot a video, so I can just save that sound in the favorite position, and then I can have it whenever I need it right there. So all that kind of accumulates to, is there another pedal that could fill that all of those different needs? Maybe, but this is the one that I've kind of settled on for now. And like I said, I'm still really excited to send the Joyos through the Iridium using the cabinet side, and seeing what sounds I can get with the Joyos. And again, I think that the sound quality out there throughout the different brands is really not that different. Through all the ones that I mentioned, UA, Boss,
Tonex,
Walrus,
Helix, Quad Cortex,
all the ones
HX
that
Stomp,
are kind of forefront out there. I think the sounds are all good. I think they're all awesome. So really, when it comes to your amp and cab sim solution, you got to look at those finer details to see what one is going to work best for you. Okay, let's get into some sound demos, which they're not going to be too long. It's going to be the same setting on the Iridium. I'm just going to show you kind of how it sounds going through my pedal board. So let's get to that. This is going to be a really simple demo of how the Iridium sounds with my setup. Pretty much just some overdrive, some reverb, and maybe a couple other things. But the signal chain is my Fender Strat through the pedal board, and the majority of the overdrive is coming from the Kino-Tone Sparks today. Then it's going into the Iridium stereo with the TRS cord, and out to my Zoom R4 multi-track recorder. So here's some overdrive and reverb and just kind of how the Iridium sounds. It's here's the settings on the Iridium, but it's in the Fender voicing. So, kind of in all things, the goal for me in this amp and cab sim solution is just that it sounds like my amp, essentially, mic'd up. And it really does. It does a fantastic job. It makes me want to play guitar. It makes me want to, just turn on an overdrive and a bit of reverb and play for a while, which is really awesome. Sounds great coming through my headphones and through the studio monitors, all that different stuff. So I'll just give you a couple other examples here. I hope you can hear how much fun I have playing through the Iridium. It really is a seamless solution within minutes of plugging it in, because I've already had a Fender amp I have this sound dialed in, and it's been with me ever since. So again, I hope you can feel the authenticity of how well it recreates an amp through the speakers you're using. And if you're looking for an amp and cab sim solution, I think it's a great option. It has so many of those small features that I find really useful. So thanks for stopping by this video. Again, it means the world to me. It really does. And I hope you can check out the next one and share this video with someone you think that would enjoy it. Again, thanks so much. Catch you later.